Hello friends, I did just end another video sitting in the same spot, so hopefully we're okay with the location and the outfit being exactly the same. I am about to go to church and have a day with my friend. We're gonna go get Indian buffet. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. But this is gonna be a new thriller vlog. I don't really do these because I get in genre ruts where I'm like, oh, this is a thriller video. I have to read thrillers back to back. But we're not doing that this year. I'm experimenting with I'm reading a book right now and I won't pick up another thriller for like a week and a half, and then I'll continue this vlog at that point. I'm not used to that. So this is an experiment. I also have figured out how to fix the color on my videos. I know it was looking super desaturated. I got a new phone and I forgot that I have to go into the settings and fix a couple of things. So anyway, I am reading My Husband's Wife by Alice Feeney. I have read like 3 pages, but I think I'm getting the audiobook because I'm about to be in a season of a couple of weeks where the only way I'm going to get any reading done is with an audiobook. So I'm going to get that and I'm going to listen to it on the way to church because I do have like a 30-minute drive. I've heard that the audiobook is really good. If y'all follow Bookables here on any social media, she was saying that we got like sound effects and stuff. So I know the book opens and she's like running, and apparently we hear her running and like the ocean waves and stuff. So I'm all about that. The only thing I know about this book is that Alice Feeney wrote it, and I do like her books. I've read Rock, Paper, Scissors, and I have read Beautiful, Ugly, and both of those I think were either 4 or 5 stars for me. I do want to watch His and Hers on Netflix because I've heard very good things about that adaptation. So I will be doing that soon. But what I know about this book in particular is we have this woman. She and her husband live in a kind of coastal town, I believe, and she comes home and tries to go inside and the door is locked, and she's like, this is weird because it's my house. Hey, Zelda. And when she tries to go in, another woman who looks pretty similar to her opens the door and gives her name as the protagonist's name and is like, hey, I live here, what's up, what do you need? So that's pretty weird, right? So I don't know how this book is gonna go. I have heard incredible things about the twistiness of it, so give it to me. I finally watched People We Meet on Vacation last night. This is a side tangent, but I really liked it, y'all. I thought that the casting was impeccable. I cried one time. I was watching it with my friend and he was like, I bet you're gonna cry twice. I only cried once, so you know, that was good for me. I do wish that we had gotten more of Alex's backstory in the movie. He was my favorite character in the book because I relate more to Alex. Like I'm definitely more reserved. I'm like weird and quirky with people that I really know, like Poppy is, but I don't say that that's like my personality that comes out. I'm definitely more of the itinerary, like going into situations a little bit more skeptical. I'm that person. So I wanted more of Alex and like why he is the way he is, but you can't fit everything into a movie. And I thought Emily Henry's voice really came through in the movie, and I think my friend liked it, and he hasn't read an Emily Henry yet, so I might try and force an Emily Henry on him. Okay, so we're gonna listen to this book, and I don't know, we'll meet back when I have some thoughts. I'll also probably show you the Indian buffet because this girl loves Indian food and a buffet, so put them together and it's like, oh, I should go. Good morning, pals from the Overthinkers Club. Oh, okay, so it's Monday morning and I spent a good amount of time yesterday reading My Husband's Wife. There are sparkle magic drugs in this book because I can't put it down, and when I put it down, I'm thinking about it, and I can't tell you when the last time that happened with a thriller was for me. Let me get a sip of coffee and then we'll dive in. I am going to try my best to explain this book to you without spoiling anything. I'm at the 50% mark, by the way. I read so much yesterday. My friend was over, we read a little bit. I was on sprints yesterday, so I read a little bit more. I listened to the audiobook when I was driving to and from church and Indian buffet, and it consumed a little bit of my life yesterday. So we have 2 main POVs. There's a couple other POVs sprinkled throughout the story as well. But the first POV that we are following is a woman named, is it Evie? No, Eden. Her name is Eden. And she lives in this very quiet, idyllic town. She and her husband just bought a house. It's like this very large manor house that belonged to the same woman for like 100 years. And that woman finally passed away and they bought it from her. So they've been doing a lot of renovating, repairs, etc. But she goes out for her morning run, and you know, she has quite a busy day ahead of her. She is an artist and she has an art gallery exhibition that evening where she's going to meet a lot of the people in the town. But she's going out for her run. She doesn't take anything with her because she likes the peacefulness of the runs. And when she gets home, her key to the door doesn't open the door. And so she knocks, and she is answered by a woman who looks a whole lot like her, a little bit different, but a whole lot like her. And she's like, "Hey, what are you doing in my house?" And she's like, "What do you mean? This is my house. I'm Eden Fox." And so nobody believes who we think is the OG Eden, the one who was out running. Nobody believes her because all of her IDs, her phones, etc., are inside. Nobody has really met her yet. Even her husband is like, "Who are you? And why are you harassing my wife?" So nobody is believing her. And then we get this other POV from this woman named Birdie, who has just received quite a tragic diagnosis, but it was her grandmother who passed away at this big manor house. And so technically she inherited the house, but she sold it to these people. And we're getting her backstory as well. And the thing Alice Feeney always does so well is like giving you these POVs that don't necessarily cross over. Like they have things in common, like the house, but there's no reason for them to be interconnected in each other's lives. And so you're sitting here going, I know both of these POVs are important, but I can't make the puzzle pieces fit. And things keep happening in this story that it's not a horror book. It's definitely a thriller book, but they are giving me the like sensations I get when I read a horror book, because there's some shocking moments that are just like, what do you mean? What do you mean that's what's happening? There's also this other element to this book about this company called Thanatos that can tell you when you die. So I don't know what science or logic or reasoning they are using to make this prediction, but that is something that is coming into play with our characters. So I'm definitely having some moments where my mind is going, what do you mean? What do you mean? But if you can't tell, I'm enjoying it. Alice is doing her Alice thing. It's a busy day. I have like 2 hours and 15 minutes left of the audiobook, but I obviously have to go teach all day. And then my apartment is a mess because I had weekend company. So I need to clean. I guess I could put my audiobook on while we do that. But then, of course, we have rehearsal this evening for the musical that I'm stage managing. And things are about to get very, very hectic with that. Thankfully, I mean, I only have 2 hours and something left. So I could theoretically finish this today, but if I do, it's going to be a very, very jam-packed day. Look how holographic my stickers look. Just scratches an edge. Whew, okay, this is a good book.
Looked you up. That's how good. Unsure whether it is the right thing to say. What do you mean? I wanted to see you. They chose over.
Okay, so I was at 47% of My Husband's Wife this morning, and I have somehow finished the book. So I read 53% of it today. What a twisty freaking ride that had a lot to say in addition to being a super thrilling book. There were definitely some discussion points to be had about death and about living and about people and family and place and what it all means to you in the long run. But at the end of the day, come on guys, this is just a thriller. And I mean, if Alice Feeney is going to do something, she is going to throw twists at you. And it was so interesting because she drops little hints. I forgot that I had also read Daisy Darker by her. And there's certain things that she does in her writing that you kind of either notice or you don't. And there were some things that I started to notice. Obviously, I can't really talk about them because I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and spoil a book for you. But there's just little things that you start to notice as you read a lot of one author. And so I didn't figure out like the big overarching plot, but I am a thriller reader that likes to try and figure things out and kind of be a detective as I listen. So that's who I am. That's not who everybody is, but I figured out little things, and I figured out some bigger things like milliseconds before they were revealed. So I don't feel like, oh, I can't rate this book high because I figured it out. I think I figured it out when I was supposed to figure it out. Does that make sense? And there was even like a question. I was like, is she ever going to come back and address this? And we got to trust our authors because she totally did. So end of the day, I'm giving My Husband's Wife a 4-star. Very, very, very strong thriller. It's hard to give a thriller 5 stars, right? So we're going to put this video on pause because I don't even have the next book I'm going to read yet. So I will see you guys in a week or so to pick up another thriller book. But I can't believe I finished it that fast. What a good start to February, because I told y'all it's going to be a busy month. So 4 stars, My Husband's Wife. We did it. Well, there's always one update for me in a vlog where I'm coming on here not looking my best. I've had a migraine for 48 hours. I don't want to talk about it. On top of my migraine, I had an informal observation today. I dealt with some behaviors that I would rather not deal with at work. But I get to continue my thriller vlog a lot sooner than I anticipated because my book of the month box got here a lot sooner than anticipated. I only got one book this month. It's Not Her by Mary Kubica, so we're going to continue the thrills and chills sequentially. I wasn't planning on reading my thrillers back to back, but since this is here, I want to go ahead and read it so I can get this vlog up. And I'm going to use a new bookmark I got. I am part of Cassidy's Patreon, and the tier that I am in gets bookmarks. So this one is so cute. It's like a holographic teddy bear, and it says booked and busy. I just think it's adorable. Also, her bookmarks are so thick and good quality. I can't wait for Brahmathon. I can't wait to see the bookmarks. So anyway, what do I know about this one? I know it is about a woman who lives in like a lakeside town. Lots of like living on the water in these thrillers. And her brother and sister-in-law go missing, I think, or they're murdered, and they can't find her niece, and like she has a baby nephew, and they're trying to figure out who done it. So I'm prepared to be scared. Are you prepared to be scared? Let's find out together. Happy Saturday, guys. Same chair, but we're trying a different angle to switch things up a little bit. I don't want y'all to get bored with like my angles and stuff, but I live in such a small space. It's hard to find different places to sit while I vlog. So you guys are really sweet for always being with me when I can't do all of the super creative things I know other people do. So I appreciate you. But I did want to say a couple of things. I have book club in a little bit and I feel really bad. I am normally on top of book club, but my book club theme for this month was either a graphic novel or an omnibus. And I have had so little time for eyeball reading. Like, this is the first book I have read with my eyeballs purely in a long time because January and February have been so busy with the play rehearsals. So I don't want to listen to the audiobook of a graphic novel and then show up and be like, I read a graphic novel. No, I didn't. I listened to a graphic novel, and I don't even, do they make audiobooks for graphic novels? I don't know. So anyway, I'm just going for vibes today, and maybe I'll get some good recommendations from my friends, but we are going to get Thai. And if you guys know, I think Thai and Indian are like my two favorite kinds of foods, and I have just been fed lately. I got Indian with my friend last week. It was so good. I'm getting Thai today. I think I'm gonna get pineapple curry, which has been my favorite recently, which is bizarre because I grew up hating pineapple, and I'm still not like a huge pineapple fan, but I do like pineapple. I am also doing a little TikTok, and we'll probably post it on YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, of reading through the new Amazon collection of romantic short stories. So I did read Accidentally Yours, and I crocheted my granny square last night. I don't have a lot of pink, so these squares are going to be interesting since there's going to be a lot of pink in them. But look, I used my, I don't know if you're going to be able to see, I used my twinkly white yarn. I feel like it's not going to pick up. But anyway, I also got a new bookshelf. It's one of those like rotating circular bookshelves, which I'm going to trade that one out and move this one somewhere else. I don't know where yet. Just for some like interest behind me, but also I don't utilize this shelf like I am. It's supposed to be my unread books, but then I'll get lazy and like, I've already read Good Spirits and Daughter of No Worlds. Why are they on this shelf? Because I got lazy. So I want to get better about like organizing my books and where they go. So hopefully this bigger shelf, it says it can hold 60 to 100 books. I'm gonna guess it's gonna be on the lower side for me since I do read a lot of thicker boys. I don't know why I said thicker boys. Ew. I also got my first book box from Allurial, and I did a TikTok, but I wanted to show you guys too. Guys, I know Allurial is not the like be all end all of special edition romantices, but first of all, they have started doing their own covers for books, which I think is cool. And as much as I would love to subscribe monthly to something like Fairy Loot or Illumicrate, whose books I love and adore, I just cannot afford the price of those subscriptions. So Allurial is a little bit cheaper. And the only thing I don't like about Allurial, well, there's two things. I don't like the branding. It is more subtle than Book of the Month, but I still don't like that there is branding on it. If they could do it more like Aardvark, I'd probably like it more. And I don't like that they don't do anything with the naked hardbacks. But again, you are paying a smaller amount, so having less things, I guess, makes sense. So I know this is a thriller vlog, bear with me. I just want to show off some pretty books for a second. I got Half City by Kate Golden, which is a book I have been really looking forward to. And I do want to say I love the original cover. It might be something I put on my wish list, and if somebody gives it to me, if I like it, if I like this book, then I wouldn't mind having a copy of that cover as well. But I really like the school and then the urban city down here. I don't know. I love the differing colors that they did for this. This is a dark academia demon hunting romantasy, if I'm understanding that correctly, that has an urban setting. And I think it's going to be a really good time. I loved A Dawn of Onyx. I did not like the rest of the series. So I'm hoping I get what I loved about her writing from that first book and what I loved about her characters from that first book, and things just take off and stay consistent through this series. I have no idea how many books it's supposed to be, but here is the cover. We have a dagger sprayed edge. I don't know what these like symbols or runes or whatever are. See, there's nothing that special about the naked book, which is fine, but we do have some end papers. They're the same on the front and the back, and the paper quality, I might be making this up, but it does feel better than Book of the Month's paper quality. So I'm excited to have this one. And I am bummed as well because it was my first month that I signed up, and they had a special going where you signed up and you got a hat, and they did not include my hat in the box, but their customer service was great. I just emailed them and I was like, hey guys, I didn't get my hat. And they were like, we already added it to your next box. So that does mean I have to get a box in March. I can't skip next month, but they're going to take care of my hat for me. They also send a bookmark that coincides with the book. So that's Allurial. But let's talk about It's Not Her by, I've heard this author's name pronounced so many different ways, so don't hate me. Is it Mary Kubica? Mary Kubica? I don't know. But I have been slowly chipping away at this book this week. Like I said, the eyeball reading time has just been minimal, and I have other books I want to spend my credits on this month, so this is not going to be an eyeball book. Theoretically, if I didn't have play rehearsal, I would have read this book in like 48 hours, but my life is just busy and stressful, but I'm not going to get into that. So this book starts with a bang, and I was wrong about a couple of the details. So we have two POVs, at least so far. So we have Courtney, who is a mom, and she and her brother's family have kind of gone on this tandem vacation to this remote resort that is like cabins on a lake. So it's nothing fancy. It's like old school, kind of feels like these cabins haven't really been updated since the 70s, but there's a pool and there's hiking trails and there's like a lodge. So it is kind of resort style, but a little outdated. So Courtney and her husband, Elliot, have one daughter named Cassidy or Cass. And then her brother's family, Nolan and Emily, are the parents, and they have three children. They have an older son named Wyatt, an older daughter named Reese, and then they have a 10-year-old daughter named May. And one night, May is over with her cousin Cass for a sleepover, and when she goes back home, she immediately runs back to Emily's cabin where, you know, Cass and everybody are. And Emily, no, not Emily, oh my gosh, there's so many names in here. Courtney can tell something is wrong. So she's like, what is it? What is it, May? And she just can't speak. So they go and investigate what happened at this cabin, and she finds her brother and her sister-in-law clearly look like they've been murdered. So Mary Kubica has done a great job of describing the panic and the initial shock of discovering that would feel like. How it can't feel real, but it feels too real, and wanting to like shield the eyes of the young ones and not say what happened, but then also how harmful it can be to not say what happened out loud. So we have that going on, but then we also have the POV of Emily and Nolan's oldest daughter, Reese. And she is a very bitter, angsty, angry teenager. She does not want to call her parents by their real names. She does not want to be on this trip. She has FOMO about everything going on back home with her friend group and is mad that there's no cell service, doesn't want to share a room with her little sister, just wants to get out of the cabin and away from her family. So when the murder scene is discovered, they do find Wyatt. He is asleep in his bed upstairs and has been unharmed. Fortunately, May was sleeping over with her cousin, so she's unharmed, but Reese is missing. So the POVs that we're getting from Reese are in the past, like they're when they first arrived at the resort, and the POVs that we're getting from Courtney are current time. So there's definitely like a gap between Reese and Courtney's timelines that we're slowly going to fill in, I would imagine. Also, I don't know, like There are certain things when I am reading a thriller that I'm like, they're not going to put that detail in the book unless it's important. And when I first started reading thrillers, I didn't think things were important like that. But I think just because I've read a lot at this point, I'm like, that's going to come back into the story. That's going to come back into the story. And I would bet my bottom dollar that I have already read something that seems so minuscule and minute that it's going to come back in the story. Also, like Courtney's husband was out fishing when all of this happened. So when the police show up, they're like, "Where's your husband?" And you're like, "Oh, they think he's suspicious." I don't think he's suspicious. I think it's a red herring. But I'm only 56 pages in. So, like, nothing I'm saying is a spoiler. It's just all setup of the story. I am enjoying it. I really think that the atmosphere she's created at this no self service, bare bones resort is a perfect setting for a thriller like this. And honestly, I'm enjoying Reese's POV more. Like, I want to find out why she's so angry. She's very, very, very bitter. And I don't know, something about her just speaks to me a little bit. I don't relate with Courtney as much because I'm not a mom and I'm not a wife. And I would hate to stumble into a setting and find my brother and sister in law deceased. Like, that would absolutely break my heart. But there are also certain aspects of her timeline that I'm not resonating with as much. But I'm having a good time. And I do think I'm going to sit here and read a little bit before I have to go to book club. I cannot believe this clip is 11 minutes long. Book club is complete. I also made a stop by Crumble. I got cookies for me and my friend, and then I went into Target to get a gift for my secret pal. I did peruse the book section, but I did not buy a book. So we're gonna go home, and the rest of the evening is just going to be spent thriller reading. I'm gonna get cozy. I got some fake plants to put on some shelves. We're just gonna get cozy. My hair is very big today. I don't know what planet I was living on when I said I would like to finish that book last night, because I sat down at 6:30 to read, and then for some reason the next time I looked at my phone it was 11, and I don't recall the time passing, and yet it did. Guys, ignore the lipstick stain on my cup. Apparently I use very long-lasting lipstick. But I got to page like 115 last night or something. And one thing Mary, I'm going to say her last name different in every clip I found, Mary Kupika, maybe? One thing she does when she does dual POV, and I've only read one other book by her, but like, one POV will leave you on a cliffhanger, and you're like, I want to get back to their POV to see how she answers that cliffhanger. And so then you have to read the other one, which then ends on a cliffhanger, and then you get back to the other one that's answering the question from 2 chapters ago. So she definitely does things to keep you invested. But I have the longest rehearsal of my life today. And don't tell the kids, but I'm dreading it a little bit. I'm ready for this musical to be over. Oh my gosh. It's been a lot more than I initially signed up for. But that's beside the point. That's where I will be spending about 5 hours of my day today. We're doing a cue to cue rehearsal, which basically means, like, for every additional cue that's not just acting related, we have to program that into the system. So we have to act until the lights change, and then we have to figure out what setting we're used for the light change, and then, like, if somebody has to switch mics, we work until that, and then we make sure that the mics get switched. So, like, every technical detail that needs to be managed, that's what we're working through for a 2-hour and 15-minute show today. So it's going to be long and tedious, and it's with 29 kids, and when you have things that are long and tedious and you have kids involved, it just feels even longer. And my job is to, like, make sure things are flowing backstage, but what's going to end up happening today is I'm going to be babysitting backstage. I also never got to finish the costume I was making for my grand entrance, so I'm just going to find something to throw over my stage blacks. Yeah. And then the Super Bowl's tonight, which I will probably make some air fryer wings and read my book while the Super Bowl is on, because I don't care that much, but, like, it's one of those things that's, like, in pop culture, so people will be talking about it tomorrow, so I want to have experienced it, but also, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't football. But I'm going to have my coffee with half of my Dubai chocolate cookie from Crumble that I got yesterday. So this is breakfast. I'm also probably going to stop at Starbucks on the way to rehearsal, because this girl definitely needs some added caffeine. Hey guys, I know that this is not what I normally come to you guys looking like, but let me tell you, I'm a little stressed right now. It's Tuesday at like 9:30 in the morning, and I'm not at work because Oh boy, howdy. If you've been around on my channel, you know that my dryer likes to break, and then I'm very good at fixing my dryer. My dryer broke this weekend. I ordered the part that I needed. I fixed it. It worked for like 20 minutes, and then it stopped heating again. So I just ordered a different part, a thermal fuse, but it won't be here till Thursday, and I currently have no clothes to wear because I'm so backed up with laundry. So normally this wouldn't be an issue because like I could go to a laundromat or something in the evening, but I have the show the whole entire week until like 9 o'clock or later every single day from like 4:30 is really when I need to leave my house to be at rehearsal as the stage manager. So I'm stressed because I have no time to do laundry. I also have no time to read. So today I took a mental health day and I'm about to go to my brother's house, pick up a Starbucks on the way. I brought my book and I brought 2 giant bags full of laundry that I'm about to sit here and do at my brother's house. I'm so grateful. He and my sister-in-law moved back to where I live so I can go do this. They are so sweet for letting me come over. But yeah, I'm just gonna crash on the couch, hang out with the puppies, do laundry, and read my scary little book with a coffee because anxiety is what we need today, apparently. So let's go pick up my coffee. It's now several days later. The musical is wrapped up. I have never felt so much relief over something being over in my life. And let me just say, I had my doubts that this musical was even going to happen with the number of people that we had sick, the number of people who didn't know their lines or their music. I was very stressed out. And I'm not even really in it. I had one line where I like came out and yelled at the kids. I was the angry neighbor. But somehow between Wednesday, we canceled the Thursday night show and the Friday night show to have more rehearsal time. So sometime between Wednesday and Saturday, they just decided it was going to be a good show, and they gave a good show. I was flabbergasted at how well it came together. That being said, I am more exhausted than I have ever been in my life. I'm getting sick. I don't know if you can hear it. I am dosed up on some good Dayquil right now. I went to professional development at work yesterday, but I took today off because I have been sleeping. Let me tell you, I'm going off on a tangent. I promise I'm coming back to books. But yesterday during PD, we got a 2-hour break for lunch. I came home and I slept from 11 to 1. I went back to my PD from 1 to 3, came back home, slept from 4 to 7, woke up and was like, I don't need to go to school tomorrow. So here I am at home. I put on makeup literally just to film this clip, and then I'm going to go wash it off. Anyway, that said, we need to chat about my final thoughts about It's Not Her because I had a really good time with this book. Guys, I think I gave it a 4.5. I might have given it a 4, somewhere in there. Somewhere letting you know I really liked this book. I predicted a lot of what happened, and I know that there's people out there that get like upset when they predict what happens, but to me, it's not like the author left breadcrumbs that were so easy to pick up that I figured it out. It's the author weaved it together so well, and I feel really smart that I figured it out. That's how I feel. I really, really liked the POVs where we were in Reese's head because it just shows you how naive and like longing for connection teenagers can be. And she was like, all of the trouble that she got in was just because she was longing so desperately for connection outside of her family. And that's not a foreign feeling for a teenager. And then, of course, in Courtney's POV, we're just following a mother who wants her family put back together and wants justice for her family. But the twists and turns that this took and like the little clues that were dropped, I just had a lot of fun solving this mystery along with the characters. And again, the atmosphere and the setting were probably my favorite parts about this book. I think that this one is slower than My Husband's Wife. My Husband's Wife was just like punch, 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 punch. This one felt slightly more literary. It's not a literary thriller, but like it just felt a little bit more purpley in some of the writing and also in like some of the character explorations, I guess. But overall, I read 2 really stinking fun thrillers over the last week and a half. If you watched all the way to the end of this video, leave me any kind of yellow or orange emoji because the title is those colors. Speaking of, let me show you my granny square before we go. This granny square was harder to come up with because I don't have a light gray or like a lavender, so I just went with the color of the text, and so it looks a little bold for this book, but I got the like purpley navy color for the author's name and then the yellow and the orange for the title. So that's what we came up with for this one. What is the best thriller you have read recently that just like completely shook you? Like you could not guess the ending if you tried. Please let me know. Leave that down below in the comments and let me know if there's any thrillers you'd like me to read next because I do feel like I'm kind of back in my thriller era. OG Heather's back!